Hey everyone, what's up? Another easy meal prep from Weights and Measures. Today we're going to be making some ground turkey and bean chili. So I really don't like chili. I don't like soup that much. So this is not really a watery chili. It's more like a mash, but it's tomato based. So what I did was I've got some Shady Brooks 93.7 ground turkey. I've got 3 pounds of it. I've chopped up some green, red, yellow peppers, and I've also chopped up some zucchini. It's getting that time of year, a little bit more festive. You get a little bit more choices in your produce. I've chopped up some onions. I have minced garlic. I only have 4 seasonings I'm going to use today. Salt, Celtic Sea Salt, black pepper, crushed red peppers, and some ground cumin. In my crock pot already, I've already put in black beans, tomato paste, and crushed tomatoes. So I put those in there. I'm going to put them into the container here for the crock pot. I'm not going to turn that on yet because I'm going to brown my ground turkey, and then I wasn't even going to cook these. I'm just going to put them in the crock pot and let them cook with the turkey and the tomatoes. So without further ado, I'm just going to get right to it. So you could use like ground beef or ground bison, which is delicious, but the ground turkey is definitely my go-to. It's super lean. It kind of takes the form of everything you put with it. It doesn't have its own flavor per se. It's kind of like a tofu almost. Like whatever you put in it really absorbs the flavor and it kind of takes on that flavor profile. So as that cooks more, I'll then add some garlic and the onion and kind of caramelize all those and then put them into the crock pot. So I just got it in a skillet. I'm just going to put it on top of the stove. Depending on how much turkey you use is going to be how long it takes to cook. I'm thinking probably like 15, 18 minutes on top of the stove to make sure that everything's brown before I put it into the crock pot. So I'll let that brown and then we'll come back afterwards and I'll show you how to put everything together. Thanks. Alright, so we've been on the stove for a few minutes now. Everything's brown. So I'm going to add the onions and the minced garlic. I chopped up like half a white onion. I probably won't use the whole thing. I'll use it for something else later this week. But onions add a great deal of flavor. I enjoy them. I know some people don't, so you don't have to put them in. Bit of onion. I'll do probably about I don't know, maybe a teaspoon, maybe a half a teaspoon of minced garlic. I prefer minced garlic over garlic powder, obviously. That's a completely different taste. Yeah, I do about a half a teaspoon of the minced garlic. You know, I'll get crazy with my Celtic Sea Salt. A little bit of black pepper. Kind of mix that all together with my Pampered Chef meat chopper that I thought was a horrible idea, but I use it more than my wife does now. I won't add any of the other spices to this. When I say spices, I'm really only adding cumin and crushed red pepper. But I won't add those until they're actually in the crock pot. I'm going to stir it all together. So I'm actually going to turn my crock pot on now to get the beans, the tomato paste, and the crushed tomatoes a little warmer than what they are. They just kind of came out of the can, put one right into there. I'm going to put it on high, and I'm going to set my timer for 4 hours because everything that really needs to be cooked, the meat, is already going to be cooked. I'm just looking for these to still be crisp, but tender enough that Yeah, the zucchinis is what I'm really worried about. I haven't tried this one yet, putting the zucchinis in the crock pot without cooking them, but I think we'll be okay. I think it's gonna be really good. All right, so we're just gonna add our ground turkey into our crock pot. Mix that around a little bit. And then our veggies. Now, what I should say is that I actually cut these zucchini up first so that it's on the bottom here, so that when I poured them in, the zucchini is going to be on the top. It's almost going to be like a steaming of the vegetables. So keep the vegetables on top of the turkey and the tomatoes and the beans on the bottom, so it'll be layered. And that way it kind of steam up the vegetables and it'll still leave them with a pretty good consistency and it won't all be mush. So kind of put those up there like that. I am not going to measure the crushed red pepper. I'm going to put it in this I see fit. I would say kind of use it as your own cautionary thing. I like it spicy. And the ground cumin. Don't get carried away on the ground cumin. I feel like everybody that says they make chili always puts ground cumin in there, and that's the only flavor I could taste sometimes. So, like I said, I've got my crock pot set high. I'm going to cook it for 4 hours. The turkey was browned in the top of the stove. Come back in like 2 hours, see how it is, and I will stir it then in 2 hours. And I'm going to try to get some of those vegetables on the bottom and kind of just mix everything around. But there was no added water, there was no added oils. It was just the can of crushed tomatoes and the tomato paste. So it's going to be really thick. My thought was putting this over a bed of like maybe some brown rice or some quinoa, something like that. But I'm probably going to not add any rice to it. I'm going to just eat it like that. My carbohydrates are already in with my vegetables that I have in there, the beans that I have. So I'm going to let that sit for the 4 hours, and then we'll come back and we'll check and see how it goes. So we have been cooking for 4 hours, and we are done. That is looking delicious. So there you have it. It took me 15 minutes to prep and 4 hours in the crock pot, and we are done. Stay tuned for next week when we make some pork carnitas. Thanks, everybody.